Hey guys! So today I want to talk about mental illness and the misconceptions that are surrounding it. I'm actually going to do this video in two parts because there's a lot to say about this subject. Did you know that about half of the Australian population will experience mental illness at some point in their life? Which actually means that everyone will be affected by mental illness in some way. So if that's the case, why are there so many misconceptions surrounding mental illness? I guess that's not a question I can answer, but hopefully in this videos I'll be able to clear up some of those misconceptions. In preparation for doing these videos, I went out and asked people if they could share their experiences and thoughts on mental illness, and I got some really great feedback, and I really appreciate everyone who contributed, and I just want to say a huge thank you. And I also want to make it clear that the things I'll be talking about in this video are not based on professional opinions or advice and shouldn't be treated as such. Everything I'll be talking about is based on personal experiences from me and those who have shared their stories. So here are some of the misconceptions surrounding mental illness. It's all in your head. Well, that's kind of true. It is a mental illness, but there are a lot of physical effects of mental illness, and they can vary from so many different things like nausea, fatigue, loss of appetite, oversleeping, weight loss, and I mean there's so many other things that people can experience with mental illness. Personally, when I was going through depression, I completely lost my appetite and I slept a lot. This is coming from a person who's thinking about what they're going to eat for dinner while they're having lunch. Mental illness can take a huge toll on your body, and it's not just all in your head. If you just go out and socialise, you'll feel so much better. Well, this can be true. It's not always the case. Sometimes when someone has a mental illness and they go out and socialise, it can actually make them feel a whole lot worse. I notice a lot of people try to pressure others into going out and doing things that they don't particularly want to do, and I understand that often this comes from a good place or somebody just misses their friend, but it can often be counterproductive. I would recommend that if you have a friend who is suffering from mental illness, try to make a compromise, try to do something that they feel comfortable doing, or if they do decide that they want to go out and socialise, be understanding if they want to leave early, because it can take a really big toll on you and it's a lot of effort to go out into the world sometimes. What actually counts as a mental illness? There are a lot of mental illnesses that people don't believe or understand to actually be mental illnesses, which can be really problematic because it means some of these things aren't taken seriously. Some of the mental illnesses that come to mind that a lot of people don't believe in include eating disorders, OCD, addiction, post-traumatic stress disorder, postnatal depression, ADD and ADHD, and there's plenty others as well. I was actually talking to a girl who told me that after having her baby she developed postnatal depression, and when she went to seek help about it, the doctors didn't say that she was having depression, they just said that she had the baby blues. I mean, what the fuck? Even doctors not admitting that some things are mental illnesses? It's ridiculous. I think it's really important that people understand what mental illnesses are, and that way we'll take the stigma off them and it'll be easier for people to get better. Mental illness equals unhappiness. I've learnt through personal experience that this isn't particularly true. A person can have something like depression or any other mental illness and still be a happy person in general. Being depressed doesn't make you a sad person necessarily. You can still smile and laugh whilst having a mental illness. It just means that there might be hours or days or weeks or months where the feeling of sadness is more present. The idea that a person with a mental illness is perpetually unhappy just isn't true. Obviously everyone's different and has their own experiences, but that notion is still a stereotype. Mental illness is so cool and beautiful. No. Mental illness is not cool. It's not beautiful. It's not romantic. It's not poetic. Mental illness fucking sucks. And the idea that it is anything but sucky just takes away so much of the seriousness. And let's not forget that mental illness can kill people. It does kill people. A couple of people have told me that their friends often ask them, to take some of their medication, which I say is super annoying because if they give them their friends their medication, then they have to go to the doctors more often, which means the doctors are going to be less likely to actually prescribe them medication. So here's a tip. If you want to take drugs, just smoke some weed. So that's all for this video. I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen so far, and in a couple of days I'll be bringing out the next video on the misconceptions about mental illness. See you guys!